This is my saddle. It is a 16-inch seat, slick leather ranch roper. It's made by American Saddlery. It is number 746, American Saddlery. See that the D-rings are stainless steel. There's an extra ring there. Has these long saddle strings, both sides. Has a offside billet, back billets. Has a new latigo. Has wooden oxbow stirrups. These are Jeff Smith stirrup hobbles, but that's all that I got from him. His store's pretty near here, so I'll pick those up. They were better than the ones I had, but it's not a Jeff Smith saddle. Also has this rope strap, tie your rope on, and the saddle horn's been rewrapped. It's just a very simple, very old school. Now let's talk about some of the accessories I have for this saddle. This first one is a saddle pouch. It's made by Big Ben Saddlery in Alpine, Texas. You can go to their website and see what they get for these. It's a lot. It's stainless steel buckle, and this is really good quality leather, good quality workmanship. And I added this string back on the back to tie it to that back D-ring so it doesn't flop around when you're riding around with it. And I'll show you what it looks like on the saddle. And there is the saddle pouch on the back of the saddle there. You can see it's just about perfect size. It's not too big. You can take something with you. And there's that little tie down strap that I've added. So that's the first accessory. We'll move on to accessory number 2. This is a set of hobbles, also from Big Ben Saddlery in Alpine, Texas. These are really good quality. Again, you can go to their website and see what they get for these. They're proud of them, but they're good. You can see all stainless buckles, hardware, the copper rivets, and you can see the thickness and the quality of this leather. I'll put it together, show you how it works. So that's how they fit on your horse's ankles, and you teach him to stand still while he's wearing these. And you can carry these with you, and you don't have to find any place to tie your horse up. You don't have to tie your horse up. A lot of places in Texas, there is no place to tie your horse up. You don't know where you're going to be, and you might need to dismount and leave him longer than you would to just ground tie. And this is also a good step in teaching them to ground tie. But you can carry those hobbles with you wherever you go, and you can dismount and hobble your horse, and you've got those with you all the time. So this is accessory number 3. This is something you have to have. The first 2 are nice to have, but this is your cinch, or also called your front girth, and this is what you have to use to saddle up your horse. So here's the cinch attached to the saddle. See, it's buckled on that off billet, the front off billet, and This is an alpaca. You want these to be soft because they're rubbing on that horse's belly the whole time, and you got it pretty tight. A lot of people over tighten them more than they need, but it's still going to rub on that horse. There, you just find a hole that fits when you got it around your horse, and then you put the leftover latigo through that latigo keeper like that. And when you're storing, the cinch ties on that little keeper up top there on the off side of the horse. You can see that this cinch has a roller buckle. That makes it a little easier when you're cinching up, because that latigo just slides along and that roller rolls under it when you're tightening up. And this is accessory number 4, which is somewhat optional accessory. If you're roping, then it is required. If you've got a saddle that has back D-rings, some saddles, especially saddles that are made in the Northwest, have a center D-ring and they don't have a back gird. But today most saddles that are used by ropers have back D-rings so that they can support this. You see the leather on this is very thick. It's strong. This tie is also good quality thick leather. The buckles are stainless steel roller buckles on both ends. And this has a little bit of tooling on it. Most of my equipment doesn't have any tooling. It's just plain slick leather. But the color of this leather matches my saddle pretty well, and the size matches my horse's pretty well. So that's why I have this one. And this is how it fits on in use. There it is, buckled on the near side. Here's the off side, and that's where it fits when you're using it. And when you're in storage, it goes like this. So in storage, it stays on the off side, comes up, goes through the buckle of the cinch, and the cinch is holding everything up on that keeper. And there you can see where it's connected to that back ring on the cinch, and that keeps everything together when it's riding under the horse. And here's accessory number 5. This is a 50-foot soft rope with this aluminum hondo. This rope is okay to use to rope horses. You don't want to use a hard rope to rope horses. You don't want to make them shy, and if you hit them with a hard rope, that will make them leery of ropes. And if you want to use a rope on your horse, you don't want them to be afraid of it. So this is good for roping horses. It's good for desensitizing horses. It's good for anything else you want to use for it. You wouldn't want to use this in a speed competition if you were a team roper or a calf roper. But if you're going to ever rope a horse, if you're training horses or working with horses, you don't want to use one of those ropes. So this is the perfect rope for a horseman. Here you can see the rope attached to the saddle. This rope strap is made specifically for hanging a rope on it. You can quickly pull this over the horn if you need to get to your rope, and shake out the rope and shake out a loop. This is the way it's stored, where it's tied to the horn, and you've got your cinches coming up and pinning it down. That's accessory number 5. This is accessory number 6, and completely optional. It's more of a old school reminder than anything that anybody uses today. It's a rawhide braided quirt, and this is a really high quality and thick leather poppers, and rawhide. Looks like it's about an inch diameter at the top, narrows down at the bottom, and has a thick rawhide handle tied together here, and this easily hangs from your saddle horn. Now, I haven't had a horse in a long time. I'm going to say 40 years that I would have hit with a quirt like this. First of all, if you train your horses, you don't need to use anything like this, and they'll respond to you. But in the old days, in the old West, the Texas cowboys didn't have very broke horses, and they were in a hurry. So one of the shortcuts they took was they could use these to turn the horses' directions and to get some speed going straight ahead. So again, I would never use this on my horses, but it does look cool. It's old school, and it's part of our Texas history. So that's why I have it. Okay, here's another optional accessory. Unless you grew up watching old westerns like I did, then you have to have this. This is, of course, a rifle scabbard. You can see that the rifle I'm using for demonstration purposes here is a Daisy BB gun. I'll go ahead and slide it in. The scabbard's also called a boot. And I also use a Winchester Trapper Model 94, which fits perfectly in here. I'll make another video showing that. And because that Trapper model is a short carbine, has a 16-inch barrel, the Daisy BB gun's a good stand-in for it. But I needed a short scabbard, and when I was trying to find one, all the modern scabbards I could find were made for rifles with scopes, or they were really long.